Hello, everyone, and welcome to GoT Thrones, a Game of Thrones podcast. I'm Alexandra August.
I'm Johnny Kolasinski.
And welcome to GoT Thrones Superfight!
Woohoo!
If this is your first time listening to us in quite a while, this is GoT Thrones off-season content. It is Game of Thrones Superfight. Superfight is a card game, kind of like Apples to Apples or Cards Against Humanity, where teams pick characters and then they give them souped-up attributes and see which souped-up character would win in a battle to the death. So Johnny and I have replaced all of the character cards with Game of Thrones character cards and are giving them attributes like stands 10 feet tall, shoots lava out of their mouth versus, I don't know, help me out. 3 of them?
Versus there's 10 of them, but they have 2 peg legs.
Exactly. It's, as Superfight says, a game of ridiculous arguments that we find kind of lightens the generally dour or sad Game of Thrones mood.
Yeah, and given that this podcast is generally less than lighthearted arguments, it fits us well.
It does fit us well. So, but first, there was a new batch of photos dropped recently, Season 7 set stills, production skills that we're going to chat about a little bit first, and then we'll get on to our gameplay later. Mm-hmm. So what stood out to you the most about this particular batch, Johnny?
For me, it was Beric Dondarrion.
Yeah.
Because I think it's been discussed that the actor was back, mm-hmm. but we haven't specifically seen where, and as possibly the most listened to one-eyed Game of Thrones podcaster in the nation, I'm always glad to have somebody else I can cosplay.
Boom. By the way, Johnny can be found at Cycloptico on Twitter.
It's true. The image, I'm going to nerd out for a second. So he's wearing what's known as ring mail, which is a bunch of metal rings sewn to leather, and it first came about in D&D, or I first heard of it from D&D. And if I remember correctly, I don't know that it's something that people actually wore.
I was going to say, I don't think it actually exists. And
if
you look at it, it makes sense because it's hella impractical. Either Beric's ringmail is just in need of repair, but it's a bunch of wide rings sewn to a leather jerkin. And it seems like they almost seem like they're decorative.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't seem like they would serve any...
It looks like there's spots where the rings went missing.
Yeah, like there's buttonholes left.
Yeah. So tell me if I'm wrong, because I could very well be wrong. My medieval expertise goes to the shing sound where swords come out of their sheaths.
It's more than my medieval expertise. What I like about this photo in particular is that he is clearly in the north.
Mm-hmm.
I know that winter has come to Westeros. I don't know that we're going to see it so heavily in the Winterland and the Riverlands, where Beric is normally located and where we know Arya is right now. So I think a lot of people expected to see him there, and he may be there. Like, this might be a scene from a later episode, but this looks like the harsh north to me. There's no trees in the back. Like, everything is really, really covered in snow. And what I like about this is that if he is in the north, stands to reason, fingers crossed, the Hound is in the north, which means he and Sansa are going to get married and have tons of babies.
That's obviously you can just skip the next 2 seasons, guys, because closing moment is going to be Sansa and Sandor Clegane on the platform 9 3/4 as they send Little John off to Hogwarts.
Oh my god, you guys! Oh my god, that's the best idea. Of course. Harry Potter grew out of what? Jeez. Why can't all the universe? I just want my nerd dream is for all of the universes to blend at my will.
Like Q squared.
Mm-hmm.
Beric is also leading a group that looks to be more than just a brotherhood. Because looks to me like they look
like they're knights.
They
look like
there.
They're soldiers.
Oh, see, look, maybe it's just a weird angle that it looks like there's a kid walking too. Maybe it's just a out of focus horse.
Might be an out of focus horse.
I think it's an out of focus horse. So it looks to me like Beric Dondarrion is leading an army of the Brotherhood without banners to Winterfell.
I like that. Well, also too, with Walder Frey dead, we might not know. I mean, like, the Frey allegiances may have changed. Black Walder and Little Walder might have. Well, oh no, they're dead. Sorry. Whomever's left in charge, which might be Edmure,
Off-white
actually.
Waldorf.
It might be Edmure.
In charge at the Twins?
Probably not, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like everyone in Walder Frey's brood was like, do we have to do this?
Yeah.
I don't know that they were so loyal to Walder Frey's vision, and I feel like odds are just because he's got so many damn kids that are cooler that would have prevailed. So it makes sense to me at some point that they at least would have let him out to be like, just go and live with your wife in River Run, and we'll just all forget this. We'll forget the nastiness happened.
Yeah.
Or that someone was like, maybe the Night King's a thing, and we should send some people. And let's not, unless they want to avoid pissing off the Lannisters anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good thought.
Or just like, I don't know, refugees or escaped prisoners of the Blackfish's men. I mean, if they took the castle or whatever, maybe there are people who, I don't know, not mutinied, but deserted from the Tully banners and decided to go up north with Beric Dondarrion. I'm just thinking in terms of like how the Brotherhood without banners could increase its numbers without having to do anything official, since they're essentially outlaws.
Yeah. I like the thoughts. I had not given any thought to them to the phrase re-swearing allegiance to House Tully, and I don't think it's necessarily that far out in left field.
The only thing I could see that would put a firm kibosh on that is just the amount of episodes we have. Though we're getting really, really... the episodes that we're getting are long enough that this is one of the longer seasons in Game of Thrones history, which is interesting. Joanna Robinson of Vanity Fair wrote an interesting article just calling out, like, hey, these episodes are by and large, on average, longer than the longest Game of Thrones episode we've had, which I think was Battle of the Bastards. No, it was Light of the... Not like, God damn it. Winter's Coming. Thank you. Jeez, there's a lot of really good titles associated with that name.
Winds of Winter?
Winds of Winter. And on the 15th try, folks.
Yeah.
Your Game of Thrones podcast host got the name of the season finale of season 6 that was beloved by many Game of Thrones fans and called by many the best episode of the entire series.
And called by Alex the best episode of the entire series that is not Band of Brothers, really? Battle of the Bastards? Along. Yeah, let's just move on to this awesome picture of
Johnny and I aren't going to be winning any
Mormont.
Olympic medals for remembering Game of Thrones episode titles anytime soon.
Apparently not.
That dream just died.
We've got this awesome picture of Lyanna Mormont, who is probably saying something awesome.
She's back and she's still sassy. Every picture they've released of her is just, she's back and she's still sassy.
Speaking in front of Peter Baelish and 3 other men who I can only assume are Dan Harmon, Mike Pence, and me after not shaving for 3 weeks.
I'm so excited. I think it would be a really funny, like, sort of teen soap opera scandal if Peter Baelish, his entire plotline was him falling in love with Lyanna Mormont instead of Sansa this season. It's frankly keeping in character because he is Cremaster 2000.
Yeah, I again, things that are not a left field that I didn't see coming, but yeah, Peter Baelish is like he's looking down and texting Lyanna right now.
And her mom is getting it. Not her mom, obviously, but her maester is getting it and being like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Other than that, honestly, it's not the most revelatory photo series I think we've ever seen. The biggest takeaway I had was how much Gilly looks like she's in a Vermeer painting.
Right?
Yeah, there's a nice still shot of Gilly looking sort of wistfully away from a book, and it's like she not only looks like Girl with a Pearl Earring, she looks like Scarlett Johansson. Mm-hmm. And the photo itself looks like a Vermeer painting.
It's I think that they only released this set of stills because somebody grabbed this one and said, "Holy shit."
Yeah, and Sam looking sad in front of a bunch of books. I think it's pretty clear that what's happening in Old Town is Hogwarts, and Sam and Gilly are figuring out everything before the actual teachers do.
And then also we get Danny touching ground.
There's a
literally.
lot of Danny walking momentously at Dragonstone.
I don't know that those are two different walks. I think that they might have photoshopped her from the first picture.
She walks momentously to the bathroom.
Yeah. Whereas Sam makes that face that he's making in these stills as he walks unmomentously to the bathroom.
Yeah, you're right. This looks like we're seeing part of a montage with Danny walking into Dragonstone. I kind of hope it is, because if there's a significant amount of episode time to her touching every part of Dragonstone, I'm going to be like, guys, 7 episodes. 7.
Especially when she gets to that map.
I'm just like, don't touch it. Don't
touch
she's
it.
touching it. She's touching it.
And speaking of the defiling of maps, we see Jamie and Cersei, who I don't think we saw together in the map room before, but this just makes it more apparent.
So here's what we've gotten of Jamie and Cersei. We've gotten a production still of Cersei on the throne and Jamie beside her. We've gotten the still of Cersei on the throne with Jamie beside her, but with the camera in it. So that still. We've gotten another picture of Cersei on the throne with Jamie next to her, and we've gotten a picture of the big map, Cersei with the big map, and now we've gotten a picture of Jamie by himself looking in the map room, and Cersei and Jamie in the map room together. So we know that she's going to sit on a throne, and we know
stand on a map.
They're going to look at some maps.
This map room is starting to upset me, even though it's the same map room as you have in Fable 3.
You want one to play You want one to play Life-Size Risk?
No, because somebody has to clean this.
Do you think it's not maybe like a big roll-away map that they just unroll for, when they really need to strategize?
No, because I don't think that's how Cersei rolls.
How do you think Cersei rolls?
I think Cersei would leave that out and it would be covered in wine.
I think Cersei is that's a good point.
I'm pretty sure that Cersei has no idea how to get back to Lannisport because she has spilled wine all over the route and she's not sure which one's a red highway and which one is Burgundy.
Yeah, Cersei also doesn't know. Cersei knows right from left. She doesn't know north from south.
No. which is why she's building that wall in Dorne.
Exactly. I feel like the real answer to the way Cersei rolls is that Cersei just keeps making more maps. And she drains the coffers because she keeps making more maps.
Yeah.
And she ruins them. And then she kills some dwarves, and then she makes some more maps out of dwarf skin. And it just and Jamie leaves and comes back a month later, and it's just it's gotten even weirder. This map has nothing to do with Westeros.
Nothing to do with Westeros. By episode 6, she's going to be standing on a map of Texas.
Have some dumb luck, surrounded by a bunch of monkeys with typewriters. And on that note, folks, I think it's time to get the meat of our program.
Yeah, so we're going to play a round of Superfight, as we are wont to do, and this one is one that I'm super excited about because we haven't had either of the... We discussed these characters quite a bit, but I've never thought of bringing them together in this way.
Dude, I'm shipping it now.
Yeah.
I'm really shipping it. I think that I love it because a lot of these rivalries we draw up because there are unresolved issues. There's Catelyn and Walder Frey and Bronn and Randall Tarley. I have a feeling there are unresolved issues there, but you feel like there would be.
I think Bronn walks in a room, there's unresolved issues. Oh! Bronn and Cersei. Put a pin in that one.
Put a pin in that one. We can't tell Nahidi about it.
Yeah.
But no. But Pod and the
Podrick
Night
Payne
King?
Versus the Night King.
The Night King.
The Night King, for those of you who listen to podcasts but somehow are missing this crucial bit of information, the Night King is, in the show, the name of the White Walker that does the Come At Me Bro move.
Yes.
That we saw get created hundreds of years ago.
He's the first.
In Brannavision.
He's the first, if you're a Buffy fan. Big time.
Oh, man, what if he takes his mask off and it turns out that it's
just a child?
Nathan Fillion.
Or Sarah Michelle Gellar. And John just goes, I want you to get out of my face. Oh, man. See, I'm telling you, man, blended universes. It's where you want to live. So we have Pod
Podrick Payne, who is riding a velocipede.
Velocipede?
And armed with a... Yeah, Alex, would you like to tell us what a velocipede is not?
A velocipede is not a velociraptor or any variation thereof of a creature like that.
We drew the card and we had to Google it because the assumption was, oh, this is a monster from Dungeons and Dragons that took Velociraptor.
Yeah, that was the concept. I didn't think that there was actually that's what I thought.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's like an olifant,
exactly,
as you were saying. It's like an elephant, but with an extra horn.
You guys can get it, okay? Because I bet you listeners, there are a lot of people, and I want you to write us about this at Alex August on Twitter, who, as of this point in time, think about it. Do you or do you not know what a velocipede is? And I want you to be truthful. And I would like you to tweet me I would like you to tweet me and make a mental note of whether or not you knew this true answer and let me know either way. I'm going to put up a poll at Alex August, ALX August on Twitter. There will be a poll tomorrow morning asking you if you knew truthfully, I expect this to be truthful, what a velocipede was.
It's the Victorian era, let's speak English, bicycle, old-timey bicycle.
So Pod's on that. And
and he has a catapult with unlimited livestock. The catapult is not a trebuchet.
If you think about it, it's the scene in Monty Python. If you think about the way that cow soars over the battlements, that's what's in my head with Pod and his catapult.
Right, and no need for coconuts because he has an old-timey bicycle.
Absolutely. The Night King, however, not to be outdone.
The Night King, however,
is morbidly obese and cannot stop clapping.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be honest with you, listeners. We do not totally draw these at random, just because there are cards like is a stuffed animal that we can't do a whole lot with, and sometimes it's just more fun to play with attributes that are like hilarious when applied to the Night King.
I think Sam Tarley would be more effective as a stuffed animal.
What?
I think Sam Tarley would have been more effective as a stuffed animal.
Well, maybe if that comes up, maybe I'll put that back in rotation. But the point is, the Night King is very powerful, and I couldn't put him up against poor Podrick Payne, even if I thought he was on a dinosaur at the time, without giving him, some handicaps. So,
yeah, so he didn't get any buffs.
No, he didn't at all. But I do like the fact that every time he moves or does anything, it's a dance number because he can't stop clapping. Like, I just think of it's not like just an applause.
It's the Bollywood Night King.
Yeah, it's like constant like to a rhythm. He's not just applauding all the time for nothing.
Every White Walker, clap your hands.
I was just at my little brother's wedding, whom, if you're listening to this, Nicholas, congratulations, Nick and Lisa.
Hey, congratulations.
I just talked to Johnny for a good 90 seconds before we started this about making ridiculous tangents.
And there we go.
There we go. So I feel like the Battle of the Bastard, I feel like Hardhome was missing Podrick Payne.
Oh, I was gonna put this at the wall, but yeah,
I mean, same diff, kind of. I kind of like that. I kind of like that this happened in the midst of Hardhome.
Yes, as everything else is happening.
Yeah. As John's like being a badass with a Valyrian sword and straight killing a White Walker and making a ton of
Lord of Bones is
dead.
Getting the crap kicked out of him.
Just dead. Yeah.
Yeah. Sad mommy moment.
Carsey is predictably dead again by children.
Yep.
Though as B plots go, I've seen worse.
Yeah. Amazing how much we loved Carsey. They did a really good job with her.
Acting. #acting. So, Pod on a velocipede. Come on! All right. Armed with a catapult and unlimited livestock, I think finds himself in the melee face to face.
Right.
With the Night King.
He was just there for a Tinder date.
he brought his best stuff.
Yeah.
He's got a ride. He's got some fun amusements. He's got muscle.
Yeah. So.
Well, okay, but the thing is, what the Night King can do is Night King can control the army of the dead.
Can't control the army of the dead, including I would argue deceased livestock.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the classic sort of zombie problem. You kill
the more bodies you throw at it, the more bodies there are to throw back at you.
Well, I think that's a uniquely Night King problem. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
But also just the fact that if anybody dies on your side, like, you can't lose at all. Your losses count double because they can be reanimated. And I don't think the Night King's rules apply kind of like normal zombie rules would apply, that you have to die by some kind of zombie method, like you have to get infected to become that. I think he can just raise the dead and turn them into his army, which is a big power, so we had to make him fat.
Mm-hmm.
Real fat. And can't stop clapping, so I feel like he'd have to, like, he doesn't have as much time to raise people, you know, because his arms are constantly going like this. And so he can't, like, he needs, I feel it took him like a good 10-15 seconds to raise those people in Hardhome till we saw like Carsey's eyes open. And then he did
when he does that Come At Me Bro move, he's gonna have to take it up into like a YMCA.
I know, it's gonna be like he's doing a yoga sun salute or something, like he's doing Tadasana but clapping. All right. So, but I like the idea of the livestock because I feel like if you crush the Night King, he's crushed, like physically crushed.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's no getting around that, and I think a good size.
You don't think he has to be killed by a Valyrian cow?
No, though I want to meet a Valyrian cow. Yeah, well, and it says livestock in particular, so I was like, it's not just cows. We're talking goats,
chickens,
oxen, buffalo. Nobody said there aren't buffalo in Westeros. No one. Okay. Yeah, so we got some heavy stuff. So I think the problem is, much like a crossbow, they take a while to load these catapults. Yeah.
And that alpaca isn't going to fire itself.
It's really not. I think the firing's not a problem. I think Pod's definitely Pod's good management. That's what Tyrion trained him for. So I'm going to give Pod the benefit of the doubt that he's got a team of people to load the livestock at a fairly quick clip, but it's never going to be like speedy, you know?
Yeah.
Because they are in the middle of the Battle of Hardhome, and
right. There's other stuff going on.
Pretty disorganized. So I would say for a first round, I think there's a bunch of livestock fired, for sure.
I think there's a bunch of livestock fired, and then comes immediately, or relatively immediately,
the zombie backlash.
Yep, the zombie backlash, and all of a sudden, you're dealing with an angry cow.
Yeah, I feel
it's dead.
Well, I mean, I feel like the cow's got to get back, because the cow has been catapulted, so now it has to get back over. But I think that's a looming threat. I think that they also just have to fight off other zombies, other whites. Mm-hmm. And then that gets in the way.
Yeah.
Of Pod's master plan. But I do like the idea of a cow kind of like grazing the fat Night King, the obese Night King, on his like struggling zombie horse. And then it's like, oh no.
Lord too fat to ride a dead horse.
I know. This time it's personal.
Turns out the Night King has been Wyman Manderley all along. Dun, dun, dun.
Or no, it's like a Dread Pirate Roberts kind of thing. So when one Night King dies, they just grab them.
I was not the first.
No, the last one was called Brian.
My name is Gendry.
Universe blend. Show me your ways. So, okay, so Pod has fired. Pod has been aiming. I feel like Pod is... The Night King, what I'm envisioning is the Night King is very fat, too fat, like not too fat to sit a horse, but just there. Mm-hmm. And he's surveying the battle, and then he hears these like thumps, kind of like Jurassic Park thumps, and it's just dead cows hitting him closer and closer. And so you just see it, like at first we see it in the background, the audience does, and it's like in the background. And then all of a sudden, like one like just clips him on the shoulder, like if you're walking in New York and someone just bumps into you. It's that kind of thing. Then he's pissed. And he's
and so he starts waddling his clapping ass.
The blue eye, but the blue eyes, there's a close-up of Pod's eyes and then the blue eyes of the Night King, but also the entire time.
Spanish guitar is playing.
Yes, Spanish guitar. Oh my gosh, sorry. I could hear it. So, I guess...
I think when they make it to each other, by that point...
The wind is blowing.
Yeah, the wind is blowing. But I think once Fatty McKnight King makes his way within catapult range of Podrick Payne, I think at this point we're at an impasse, because yes, Pod can ride away in a jolly manner.
I don't know if that bicycle's working in this cold, but pardon me, velocity. Yeah. He can't get away in a way that anybody takes him seriously. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was envisioning, that the catapult's kind of only good at a distance, and so Pod, of course, misses his shot. He tries, it's not without trying, but Pod misses his shot. And then it's just a long, slow, hilarious march of the Night King approaching Pod, clapping the entire time, looking ridiculous on this literally skin and bones horse, because it's an undead horse.
Right.
So they arrive, and then it's the two of them just staring, not unlike John and the White Walker. Mm-hmm. Like, the wind is blowing, and it's very fierce, and then it's next level shit. So then it's time for our third attribute.
Yeah. And so the Night King, morbidly obese, can't stop clapping, and he's also narcoleptic.
Narcoleptic! You didn't think zombies needed to sleep. Twist.
They don't, except for this one.
It's a disease. But Pod
is armed with a rocket launcher.
And all of a sudden, this is now a Wile E. Coyote cartoon. And that's kind of, I mean, honestly, that's kind of where it is for me. This is, I just think that Pod, I think literally the Night King goes like, and then goes, and Pod goes,
and Pod says, say hello to my little friend.
And then all the zombies die.
And
John kneels before Pod and says, long live the king.
Yep. And he rides off into the sunset.
On the zombie horse?
On the zombie horse. No, on an alpaca.
Oh, no, with in tow all of the zombified animals.
Yeah. It takes them to a little farm north of the wall.
He saved them through the power of love.
Yep.
Pod is the Wonder Woman of Westeros, don't you think?
In
terms of values?
In terms of values, absolutely. I mean, Brienne is obviously the...
Oh, geez.
The Robin Wright.
Yep.
Character.
Yep. Also Wonder Woman.
Brienne is basically everyone.
I think we can end it there, folks.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening. Let us know what you knew about the Velocipede.
And be truthful.
Yeah, be honest.
At Alex August, at ALX August on Twitter. There will be a poll. And next week we'll discuss that poll.
Yep.
That would be next
You're being graded.
Yes. Next Monday, the 26th. Guys, we're getting so close.
So close. We are at now less than 4 weeks.
Wow, shit. I didn't realize it was that close, to be honest.
Yep.
Well,
all right, we're gonna go have a terror moment. You guys enjoy your week, and we'll see you next Monday.